So I'm filming this on my iPad, so I don't know how well this is gonna go. Like, my face is so big on this right now. It's crazy. But I wanted to show you guys, I think I've finally sort of finalized the contents of my first Japanese character and expression and quote that I've chosen. It's a character called Ma. I started from, oh my goodness, I wonder if I can show you. I started from so many words. I started from basically this whole text and wanting to put that all on the back of clothing, like a hoodie or a t-shirt, right? And that's an insane amount. So I started from that, and I slowly, basically every single time there's a gap, that means that it's like a new draft, and slowly but surely started to adapt. It does not look like it though, but I slowly started to, and finally I got to my final version, which is actually this one here. And it still looks long, but on a Canva template it looks like this. And to give context, my initial drafts that I had before, that I just was playing around with I hadn't customized font yet, I haven't done anything yet, other than design a logo and kind of copied what I'd already wanted to say onto the back of a t-shirt, just to see what the vibes would be like. So this was the first initial draft, and you can kind of tell like it's still like spaced out pretty well, but it's a lot more in terms of the quantity of words, although maybe it doesn't look like there's much of a difference. Maybe it looks better on this one because there's a bit more spacing, but on a hoodie it looked like this, basically the same hoodie as before. So you can see this is a lot clearer and how different it is between my first initial draft and my final one, which was this one here. And you can also see there's no logo, because initially I had thought about putting it on the back together and then having a QR code, because this round seal is, I got the inspiration basically starting off from wanting a QR code and thinking about, oh, it'd be cool if there was a QR code that people could just quickly scan, because if it's on the back it's not as it's a bit more inconspicuous. So if they can just quickly scan it, if they're interested in knowing more about it, that would be really cool. And I didn't want it to be in such like an overly obvious way though, so I was thinking of using the round circle, like the round QR codes. And because I know that in Japan there's what's called hanko, which is like a seal or like official stamp that they use for a lot of business as well as personal ones. And I didn't know, but I found out that there's two types, which is round and then square. And round is for more like, I think, business, like very formal legal documents, whereas square is for more like business and like, I don't want to misquote it, but I think for business and stuff like that. So there is a difference between the two types of stamps. And so I thought it'd be really cool if I could have one that was round to kind of showcase my own logo, make it more personal, because that's more like legalized, like trademarked, right? And then the square one for a business, because I link it to my business site. So that was the initial idea, but I actually ended up, as I was looking for inspiration on the round ones, I really, really love the sakura flower, cherry blossom flowers in Japan. Like, I adore it. I have adored it since I was a child. I don't think there's anyone on this planet who wouldn't like that flower, honestly, like, unless you just don't like nature in general. But for those who do, like, I adore it so much, and I love the color pink. So I thought, okay, I have to incorporate a sakura. Also because it's much more easily identifiable, right? It's a bit more obvious that it's a Japanese trademark. And then I wrote inside, oh my god, this is my favorite moment, mizukara, which is also a Japanese expression that I'd be happy to create a product for, which honestly probably should have been my first one, but whatever. It just didn't resonate as much, I suppose, and it's still a work in process. But mizukara means of oneself, or from oneself, of one's free will, accountability, like taking that initiative. And so I really like that general message, because no matter what type of philosophical concepts or ideas or frameworks or theories there are out there, if we don't take that first step ourselves to enact it, to practice it, to test it out, then I think there's a limit to how far we can go in just theory. Obviously, so we have to experience it, we have to experiment with it in real life, and that's how we can further grow in life, I believe, as humans. So I really like that cool message, um, as well as my nickname is Ms. And if you were to translate Ms. Kara, Kara means from, so it literally would translate to from Ms. So that was a real cute, fun moment that happened. And there's three language systems in Japan. There's kanji, which is the complex looking ones, and yes, the kanji system was originally copied from the Chinese writing system. And then there's also the katakana, which is much more like straight lines, and that's how you can identify it. So katakana is used for English words, so that's why it's in Ms is in English katakana characters, and then the kata is still in the hiragana, which is the basic Japanese writing. So for junior school kids, if they don't know how to write the kanji yet because it's quite complex, they can write it instead in the hiragana characters, which is like the English alphabet system. So yes, so I had started off with those two on the back, but after talking about with my dad, I figured that the QR code looks a bit off. So I think instead of a QR code, I'm just gonna have my website link at the bottom. And I have it really tightly lined up at the bottom there. It's not very clear, but it does say mizukata.shop.au. Because in reality, the design space available for a lot of the print companies isn't a lot, so I think it's gonna be quite a tight fit, but I'll see how it goes, and if I can set it out further down below, because that just makes more aesthetical sense. That's even a phrase. Anyways, and I decided to put the logo on the front, so it makes more sense that way anyways. So that's what it would look like with the sakura, which isn't showing very well. Oh, there we go. The sakura logo on the front there. So yes, so that's my idea for now. I'm so excited though, because I didn't plan or intend to tell anyone about this business idea or concept that I have to my friends. At least my family I have, but to my friends not yet, because it's just a lot of pressure, and I don't know, I feel even more shy telling it to my friends than strangers, because strangers, like, I'm never going to see them again, but my friends, like, I see them all the time and I actually care about what they think and, you know, what they say, and I know I get easily influenced and take their words very seriously. So like if someone were to, out of concern, you know, question, you know, my products or like my ideas, like I think I would get very easily discouraged. So I didn't plan to. Also because I'm just scared in general of rejection. I'm very rejection sensitive, so I didn't want to kind of face that possibility of potential. But today it just naturally happened to come up in a conversation about how, you know, because now I'm not going to have much of a job, so other than covering like the very bare minimum in terms of living costs. So they were asking what I'm going to be doing, and I said, oh, you know, like job searching as well as like business, you know, because I know they're concerned for my finances, which I would be too. But I didn't want to hide it intentionally either, because they asked me like, oh, what business? So I talked to them about it and just showed them the previous draft I had, actually, this one here, and then they read it, and yeah, so as I was kind of explaining to them there, I told them that this text isn't final yet, as in the previous one, because it's still like, I don't know what like what the messages they want to deliver and stuff like that. But after coming home, I think verbalizing helped me realize that yes, I do really need to bring this together and figure out what the purpose of this text is. And I think I was wanting to put, because I was like, I texted my friend actually because he's a really good writer, and I was like, can you actually take a look at this text and help me to edit it, because I know you're a really good writer, now that you know about my business idea. But I don't know, I kind of just, it just clicked for me as soon as I sent that message. And so I just started editing myself. I was like, never mind, like, let me just think about it. Like, let me think on it and try to edit myself. But yes, I had described it as, like, even digressing, I had described it as, you know, it's like, I don't want to cut out any of my babies. You know, the words are like my creation, my babies. And it's like, I don't know what to cut out yet. So I was getting into that's stuck in that stage. And so I think just verbalizing it helped me unstuck. So, or destuck, or whatever, however you want to phrase it. So yes, I am just running off adrenaline high right now because I can't believe that I managed to do that. I didn't think it was possible, to be honest. Because, like, what can I cut out? I don't know. And then it kind of just clicked for me, with a bit more perspective, I suppose, imagining it from the perspective of my friend. I don't know what it was. I don't know what clicked there, but something did. And I was able to stick with the bare minimum enough to bring my point across, and make my enough to bring my point across, but not so much that it's just like a lot of text and a lot of reading and squinting the eyes, right? And then I figured that if it tells enough and it's enough to bring about curiosity, then the link will hopefully drive traffic to my website, and there I can explain in more detail, link it to my YouTube channel, whatever it may be, and yes, hopefully link on to more customers, I suppose, but more interest in the Japanese language and curiosity, most of all, I suppose, in the different types of products that I will be releasing in the future as well. So yay. I'm really happy with that. I still have to customize the kanji character font. Like, that is from Canva, and so for legal reasons it's probably better for me to customize it myself and write it out myself, but that's a mission because I have to do that for this character, the hiragana character, as well. And that's a bit of a mission because when I tried to do it myself the other day, it did not work out very well. That was the character, and that does not look as good. I suppose in the end, if it comes down to it, like, if that's how it turns out, then that's how it turns out. I have to just deal with that and make do with that. But it'd be good if I could create something similar to that style in Canva, because it is really quite cool. So I might actually look up a bit more on calligraphy styles and practice it by watching some tutorials, because it'd be a good skill to invest in for the future as well, because there's going to be a lot of kanji characters that I'd be probably using, so it'd be good to be able to whip that up. So yes, first design down, kind of, sort of. I just wanted to quickly mention that you might notice that a lot of language I used just now was very business oriented, like traffic and customers, and from the perspective of self-gain. And the reason for that is actually quite intentional, although I didn't explain it very well. And it's because one of the students that I used to teach in a school, he mentioned in a passing conversation how he doesn't like podcasts and podcasters in general. And I was curious. I was like, oh, why is that? And he mentioned that he feels like they aren't being forthright about the fact that it is a money-making scheme for them and a profit business for them. And so there was a hidden layer of transparency that was missing there. And so, of course, from the perspective, I can't speak for everyone, but from the perspective of some content creators like myself, it isn't just about that. Like, of course, there is that element of being able to make a living off of this and being able to afford a certain lifestyle. As in, it doesn't have to be a glamorous lifestyle, but enough to further my life in terms of my vision that I want to achieve in the future. And so there is that element, but I'm also invested in bringing a certain value, an element of value to my customers and consumers, and because I genuinely believe it could bring some joy to the right people. And without that element, I would have never ever stepped foot into this industry for sure, because I'm also the same. I find social media very overwhelming sometimes and very noisy, and like I don't even know what I'm consuming sometimes, and it's partially my fault because of lack of self-control, which is why I stopped social media, full stop. But here I am again, and I am now on the other side, this time though as a creator. But when I say that I hope that the simplified version will drive traffic to my website, what I'm actually trying to say as well at the same time is I hope that my simplified text will be enough to drive the curiosity to my website, that will act as a medium that will help nurture and grow and water that curiosity and growth. And hopefully it can help expose people to different and more varying expressions of the Japanese language and help them to immerse a bit more and understand a bit more about what the Japanese language system and language expressions, what they look like in general. And so, yes, that is why I have awkwardly used business jargon terms all of a sudden. But I wanted to be absolutely transparent because I was lucky enough to have that feedback from a different age demographic, which are the school kids who are watching YouTube videos as well. And so I want to bear that in mind and make sure that in the future as well I can hope to bring or expose or at least hold that seemingly conflicting element of transparency of it is for me, but it is also for hopefully the people watching this. So yes.